We all love signing wonder kids in Football Manager, but it's so much sweeter when you're able to sign them for a very small fee. So in today's video, we're going to show you some of the best FM24 wonder kids that you can sign for under £1 million. Now, some of these players are going to be closer to that 1 million mark, and in some saves might actually cost more than that because prices can fluctuate, but some of them are going to be way under, and even with a price fluctuation, will still be able to be signed for under £1 million. We've got over 20 players to get through, so I'll try and move through them as quick as possible. And if you don't see these players in your save, a lot of people ask this in the comments, it's because your database size isn't large enough and you don't have that nation in your database. But there'll be a player in here for every single save. Whether you've got a small database on or a large database, you'll definitely be able to get a bargain from this list. No particular order in this video, but I am going to start off with a goalkeeper. His name is Bartosz Zelazowski. Now, all the pronunciations in this video are probably going to be awful, so I do apologise for that, but he is playing in the French divisions for Nice as a future prospect at their club and can be picked up for a few £100,000. Now, goalkeepers aren't too exciting. I'm not going to say too much about him, but if you want a goalkeeper that could grow into a wonder kid at some point, then he could be the one to go for. All of these players in this list have the potential to be a wonder kid. Of course, when you start a save, their potential is within a range and a dice is rolled as to where that player is going to land on that potential scale, but all the players in this list have a potential range that means they could be a wonder kid in your save. If you're looking for a player that's a little bit more ready-made though, then why not check out Gilher Santos, a Venezuelan international at this point, who can be picked up for just around that £1 million mark. At the start of his save, he is wanted by Porto. He is playing for Deportivo Táchira out in the Venezuelan divisions. Now, if you happen to have him in your database, you have got a gem. He can play on both sides, stupidly cheap as mentioned, and he's already got a lot of ability, both physically, mentally, and technically. A nice dribbler who's going to be a threat to any defender with room to get better yet. He could be a great sign-in for your team. We're heading over to the Italian divisions next, to Torino, where you will find Aaron Siamaglicella, who is an Italian 18-year-old whose name is almost certainly not how I just pronounced it. Now, he was great in FM23. I'm not quite sure if he's as good in FM24, but for £1 million or less, you are going to get a star here. A player that within a few years is going to grow a hell of a lot and has a great base set of attributes to build up from. He can tackle, he can pass quite well, and he's got good teamwork and first touch. A midfielder that, when developed, is probably going to be able to do it all at a very good level. Before we get into the other 20 plus players left on this list, I want to ask you guys, if you do enjoy this content, if you find it useful, or if you just want to be a legend and really help us out, then smash that like button. It takes a few seconds to do, it's free, and it really helps our channel in terms of video performance. And comment down below your favourite bargain you found in FM24 so far. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, to do so, because we've got double daily Football Manager videos during the course of the beta, and then after that we'll have daily videos throughout the whole period of FM24, so make sure you're subscribed. And the final thing, if you enjoyed the content and you want to see more of me, linked in the description is a link to my channel where you can see more Football Manager content, more entertainment based. So we do rebuilds and experiments over there, and soon we're going to be having a rebuild with Chelsea coming out. So head on over there, hit the subscribe button, and I'd be massively appreciative of anyone who does that. But back to the list, where we've got so many players to get through. One of my favourite players from the list is this Polish 17-year-old by the name of Filip Ryzik, who plays for Legia Warsaw out in the Polish divisions. Now, he is a breakthrough prospect at his club, but isn't far from that first team because he's got great ability already, great technical and mental attributes. With a bit of work in his physicals, he's going to be great, and he's only 17 here, has some nice player traits too, and before you know it, he could develop into a top-level talent for a bargain price. Sticking in the central midfield areas, if you're looking for someone way cheaper than him, then go for this player, Abdramane Canate. He's an Ivorian 17-year-old who plays for FC San Pedro in the Ivorian divisions. Chances are he won't be in a lot of your saves if you haven't got a huge database, but if you have, I mean, you're going to pay, what, £200,000 for him to get a player that, yes, he's not going to start for anyone's first team straight away, not going to be in Man City's midfield next to Rodri, but for a low-level team, he could be a great pickup to eventually make you a profit. And that should be noted, by the way, the majority of these players being under 1 million, they aren't the best wonder kids in the world, but they are way more affordable than the majority that you'll see out there. So most of these won't ever develop into the next Messi or Ronaldo, but they'll all be good value signings for under 1 million. Worst case scenario, you'll sell them in a few years and break even, but in most cases, you'll develop a player that's either going to be great for your first team, or you'll sell on for a huge profit on your initial investment. And that could happen with this guy here, 18-year-old Spaniard Shvy Grande, who plays for Levante. They're a team in the second division of Spain. He is a youngster at the club, and like I say, can be picked picked up for under that £1 million fee, has a 400k release clause here, 16 determination, and a lot of room to grow yet. On the opposite fullback slot though, head on over to Porto to find Martin Fernandez in their B team, a 17-year-old Portuguese national capped for the under 17 team who already has some great ability in terms of the attributes you'd want for his position. Can tackle, can pass, can cross, can dribble, has nice physical attributes too, a few years of growth, and he could genuinely turn into one of the best right backs in his position in the world. He is one of a few on this list that I think could go right to the very top. Obviously, he's going to need game time to do so. If he gets stunted here at Porto, he might not grow, so try and bring him to your team and you could find a real gem. One of my favourites from last year's Football Manager, Oscar Perea, is once again a very, very good signing, should you be able to get your hands on him. Playing for Atlético Nacional in the Colombian divisions, this 17-year-old Colombian plays on the left, is right-footed, and can cut in on that right foot, whether it's to cross, score a goal, or play a pass, because he has it all at the age of 17 with nice mental and physical attributes too. About a 500k valuation looks to be the price here for this player, but if you can get him even cheaper, you'll have a star on your hands in no time. Sporting Club de Portugal's Gilher Santos is an 18-year-old central midfielder who can also play in that attacking midfield slot, who has nice ability all around, a good creator with 12 passing, 12 vision, and 13 technique with nice first touch and finishing ability too. Combine that with some good starting physical attributes and mental attributes, and by the time you're 2021, you'll have a player that could definitely be making his way into your first team. If you're managing in England though, and you want to look a little closer to home, then check out Man City. Plenty of good youngsters there for quite cheap, and one of them is Alfie Harrison. Now, I'm not saying all of these players will want to join your club or want to move, but they are all valued under £1 million. So keep your eyes on them, scout them. If you can't get them straight away, maybe you can get them somewhere down the line. And this 17-year-old could be a great pickup, because for about 500k, you're getting a player who, I mean, physically and technically, he's not amazing just yet, but he has some very nice mental attributes to work with. He's going to grow a hell of a lot more than what you're seeing here, and this is just one version of Alfie Harrison, and it's the same with all of these Wonder Kids, particularly the younger ones. When you load your save, their attributes could vary massively to what we're seeing here. Their potential might be completely different, and their valuation might change, but they should, in most cases, be under 1 million. So scout Alfie Harrison, see if he's any good, and he could be a nice pickup for your team. We're not slowing up though, we've still got 14 players left to go. We've got Monserat as our next player, playing for Real Zaragoza in the second division of Spain. Now, he is a 17-year-old Spaniard who can play as a number 10 mainly. He's agile and fairly quick, whilst having great flair and determination. His decision-making and composure is also good for a player of only 17, but technically he is already very sound, with great corners, crossing, dribbling, first touch, set-piece ability all around, as well as that technique and passing. So if you're looking for a number 10 that's going to grow into something special in the future, Monserat here is pretty much guaranteed to be a £5-10 million player within a couple of years of development, and who knows how far he could go from there. Next, we're looking at 16-year-old Swiss national Elio Wagner playing for Young Boys. Now, you will see here for us, he is valued at over £1 million, but in some saves he can be under 1 million, so I'm going to include him here anyway in case you want to check him out. The reason he's a bit more expensive in my opinion is because his attributes are already a lot further along in their development than some players will have. Now, he's a deep line playmaker by trade according to the game here, that's where he's natural, and he could definitely suit that position nicely with 13 passing and vision at the age of 16, combined with some nice technique and decision making. He is a player that's going to be top draw in the future. He's never really going to be quick or strong, but by the time he's 18-19, you'll be looking at a completely different player than what we're seeing here, and maybe one of a few out of this list that in most cases is probably going to be destined to play for some of the bigger clubs in world football. If you're looking for a player who's a bit older though and more defined in his attributes at this point, then have a look at Sanat Mua, a Thai 20-year-old striker who already has 12 international appearances. He plays for Brau United in the Thai divisions, but is on loan currently at OH Leveren, which is a team out in Belgium, but there is no future fee in that contract, so he will actually go back to his Thai club, at which point he might be a great signing for you guys. For about 1 million, you're getting a guy who's already a good finisher with nice acceleration, agility, and just all-round great ability. One of the more defined players in this list, being 20, it makes sense as to why, but he is a real gem. But if you want a younger striker that's closer to home, then check out the Italian divisions and Bologna to find Tomaso Ravioli here, a 17-year-old striker, and I'm laughing because my pronunciation made it sound like some kind of pasta, but yes, either way, he's a 17-year-old striker with great ability in all areas. Now, he's not too stand out at anything just yet, but again, a great base set of attributes to build up from. If we highlight the attributes needed for advance forward, he's got 10s, 11s, 12s, 8s and 9s in some areas, so with some development, he could be a good level striker. He's never going to start up front for Real Madrid, but in 5 years' time, if he's developed well, he could definitely be a player playing in, say, the lower end of the Premier League as a striker for one of those relegations sides, or something of that ilk. Okay, so 10 players left to go. Hopefully you are enjoying so far and making a note of some of these names for your saves. Remember to subscribe to the channel as well, because we'll be doing daily videos such as this, and you're going to see so many more players, so many more gems appear on the channel, that if you don't subscribe, you might miss the video, you might miss a great player for your team. Speaking of a great player for your team, the player that's going to be on the thumbnail of this video is this 16-year-old Brazilian from Palmeiras, Riquelme Felipe, who is an inside forward on that left-hand side, i.e. he likes to play on the left and he likes to cut in on his right foot, and he's better at finishing than crossing, so we've already defined him as an inside forward. Now he's got 18 natural fitness here, nice physical ability at only the age of 16, with some great technicals. The holy trinity of finishing, first touch and dribbling are already there. Now he does need some development in his mental game, but that will come with time. By the time he's 19-20, he will look completely different and could genuinely go on to be a star on that left-hand side. I think perhaps the cheapest player in this list though is Jaime Vasquez, who plays for Real Oviedo, a team in the second division of Spain. Seems to be a lot of bargains over in Spain, and that is usually the case with these youngsters. They have cheap release clauses, cheap transfer fees, and they end up being great value for money. Now he's valued at only 20,000-30,000, so he's one for the really low down teams. But if you can pick him up, he has got the potential to be a wonder kid in your save. Nice ability in some areas. Some areas he's terrible. I mean, he's got one finishing, one penalty taking, so don't ever put him on a penalty shootout. But if you develop him right, he could be the kind of player that's playing for a lower down team in La Liga at full growth. Another more defined player is Andres Romero, a Venezuelan international with 3 international appearances. When you load up your save, it might be a good idea to load up players of the nation of Venezuela, because you're going to find some gems, and he is one of them. Playing for Monagas SC in the Venezuelan divisions, he's got great ability all round, a central midfielder. He's got good attributes in pretty much every area, and is going to develop a little bit more from what you're seeing here. Not going to have the huge growth that those 16-year-olds will, but he is more readily defined at the start of your saves. Andrei Borza is a Romanian left-back playing for Rapid Bucuresti out in the Romanian divisions. Now he is another one where his value can vary. He might not be under $1 million in your save, but if he is, pick him up. Even if he's $2 million, he could still be worth that fee, because he's got a great set of attributes to start with. So for £1 million, I really wouldn't be surprised if he goes on to be the starting left-back for his nation of Romania, and maybe even a Premier League level player in a few years' time. Luis Carbonell is playing for Real Zaragoza and can be picked up for about £1 million. He's currently on loan at Club Deportivo Tudela, a team in the lower down divisions of Spain. He will go back to Zaragoza after that though, and you're finding an inside forward here for a cheap price who can score goals. In this save, he's only got 1 determination, so I really don't think he's going to go far, but that might fluctuate in your save. Either way, scout these players, see how they look, and even if only one of them is worth signing, they are going to be a bargain that's going to help your team massively. 5 to go now. We've got another Venezuelan playing for Monagas SC, valued at about 600-700k. It's 17-year-old David Martinez, who can play anywhere along that front three and is technically very astute for only a 17-year-old. Mentally will need work, but his physicals are there. He's got the potential to go far, so pick him up. A cheap fee, you really can't go wrong. We've got a striker now, a 16-year-old Ecuadorian playing for Barcelona SC out in the Ecuadorian divisions. We've had some great Ecuadorian wonder kids come through in recent years, Moises Caicedo being one. Maybe John Acurio is going to be the next, with 13 finishing, 13 first touch and 13 acceleration at only the age of 16. He could go very far with the right development. Miguel Monsalve is one of the best players in this list, if not the best. At 19, he's valued at around 1 million, but he can be bought for cheaper than $1 million in some saves, so he fits in to this video. Now he's playing for Independiente Medellin out in the Colombian divisions here, and he is ready for a move into one of the big divisions, because technically he is already so good, same physically, and it's the same for his mentals. A great player right from the off, and one of the best bargains this year. And we'll finish off with 2 defenders, 2 quite cheap players. The first one is Ruben Aranzo, a 20-year-old Spaniard. He's playing for one of Valencia's youth teams, and at the age of 20, I mean, he's got 17 tackling, which stands out quite a lot. 11 technique as well. He's never going to be world class, but he has a good starting set of attributes to develop from. And for about 200-300k, again, he's just worth the investment. Even if it doesn't work out amazingly well, you'll at the very least make a profit. And finally, we have Barcelona's left-back, Alex Val. Now, he is one where in most saves he will be over $1 million, but in some, he can be under 1 mil. He's on loan at Levante from Barcelona, so track that, wait for him to come back to Barcelona, and see if you're able to get him. With Balde taking up that left-back spot, there's not going to be much game time for him, but he is one of the best on this list, with 14 tackling, nice ability going forward as well, good physical attributes, and very strong mentally for only a 19-year-old. He could go right to the very top. Some players in this list I could definitely argue won't go to the top, but Alex Val could definitely do so here. So there you go. That's 24, 25 players that you can sign for under 1 million that have potential to be wonder kids in your save. Let me know your favourites down below. Like the video and come check out my channel now that we're done. Linked in the description. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.